Welcome to the episode of Times Square Kung Fu. I am your host, Frankie Balboa, aka the Shogun Supreme.
And I'm Peter Glogowski, Associate Editor over at Flixus.com. Today we're going to be talking about Radiance Films' new release of the Bounty Hunter trilogy that comes out when exactly?
It comes out next week, I believe on the 27th. I hope it's the 27th because if not, we got to redo this part. It has to be the 27th. But yeah, this thing is, oh my God, it's the beauty, man.
I'm tempted to buy it because of that box. It looks great.
It looks, but it not only looks great, there's some great freaking films in this stuff. And once again, much love to the wonderful and amazing folks out of the Northeast, MVD Group Entertainment. Much love for the review copy, man. So let's get us into this banging episode. Now, before we get into these reviews, we got distracted for 10 minutes or so?
Yeah, 10, 15
minutes.
Because,
Peter with his awesome freaking PC setup, he's gonna show what we scrolling to.
Oh, baby.
MVD Entertainment Group is having a freaking, what is it, 70% sale?
I mean, some of them are 90% off.
Dude, you get Dragons Forever 4K from 88 for $13.
Yeah,
$13. $11. Drive 4K, not the one with the awesome music you guys love with your corny jacket everybody was wearing Halloween. No, the real Drive with Mark in it. Damn, they got Nemesis in this bitch, man. Oliver Gunn. You got Showdown, Action in the USA, baby. Those type of, horrible American awesome mayonnaise films. So yeah, they got a crazy sale, man.
Mayonnaise.
Yo, but I'll probably pick up a few. You say you're gonna pick up a few already.
Yeah, I'm thinking of getting Flying Guillotine too.
Yeah, the Shot Set Volume 2 is freaking $70. But anyway, enough of that. We're gonna link to this damn sale. Peter. This awesome freaking trilogy.
Yeah. So before we get into any of the descriptions of the film, the third movie sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm just
No, I'm gonna say it like this. Just for these two films alone, man, the Killer's Mission, The Fort of Death.
Yeah.
We're gonna get to The Fort of Death.
It's worth it for those two alone, or even the second movie.
That second one. But anyway,
yeah,
the third one, we know who's on already. We know your name already, bro. But we still love you. But yeah, just for the first two, the booklet, it's a lot of stuff to get into. But the first film, Peter.
So, Tomisaburo Wakayama plays Shikoro Ichibe throughout all three of these movies. And I'm not going to say his full name every friggin' time. So, The description of the first movie is, Ichibe is assigned by Shogun Tokugawa to prevent the sale of Dutch shiploads of rifles to the hostile Shogun Satsuma. On his mission, he meets a cowardly Ronin who becomes his assistant, as well as a female spy and a female warrior. As is common with a lot of these old films, there's not a concrete plot. It's kind of a series of scenarios that play out. And as Frank and I were discussing while watching these, back in the 60s and 70s in both Japan and Hong Kong and China and all that, television wasn't widespread in houses. So these movies, even though they have 3 in a trilogy or friggin' 10 in some cases, they're written more like TV episodes. And you get that sense, especially in The Killer's Mission, which is the first of these 3 films.
Where everybody gets smacked.
Yeah, there's a lot of women getting hit, and then Tomisaburo gets hit a lot.
Yeah, and he has, because when I talk about these films and the way Radiance describes and some people mention it, they mention this is similar to a James Bond type of thing.
Yeah, I think it was Zatoichi meets James Bond was the tagline they used.
Yeah,
and that's right for the first film. I wouldn't say it actually applies to 2 or 3. And there's even a spot in Killer's Mission where Tomisaburo is playing as a blind masseur. So like it's very clearly a reference to his brother's films.
Yeah, like that's what Ichi reference is freaking pretty awesome, man. He goes all out with this joint. But the thing is, this thing opens up very brutal.
Yeah.
Like the first thing we see is I remember Will from Hong Kong Cinema said it best. From Hong Kong Appreciation Cinema. He was like, "Oh baby, daddy is happy. I see a limb fly, an arm fly, and titties. Yeah."
Yeah, there's definitely well, actually in the second movie there's not much of nudity, but there's copious amounts of topless women and bloodletting between these three movies.
Yeah, and some freaking great soundtrack.
Yeah, especially 2, but we'll get to 2.
But the first film, just to get it out of the way, is fantastic. There's great comedy. He has a sidekick.
Yeah, and then this dude's following him around for most of the movie, and he's like flirting with other women.
He has some assistant. Then he has the woman, the prostitute.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of common elements between these films, and while the second one's more serious, the first one has that comedic tone. And one thing I wasn't necessarily hot on in the first movie is that there are 2 women that act as supporting characters when they could have been fused into one. Like the main lady that he quote unquote loves doesn't necessarily appear for most of the film, and then the hot shinobi lady is kind of the main character, but then she's not. So
and she's awesome, but they don't use her well. And then they have this other one, just being there, because the first one is more about like, trying to destroy one of the shogunates hired him
to
stop
destroy
the Dutch with the weapons.
Dutch from importing firearms into Japan.
Yeah, then it gets all cute and twisty, which is dope, but I think this movie would have been way better if they would have got rid of that freaking hot shinobi chick, because the first one was awesome.
Yeah, I mean, if they got rid of one or the other, it doesn't really matter. Yeah. Like, they didn't need
because
the 2
characters. Because they infiltrate the base, and then he goes like, "Oh, this was awesome." He goes into the base like, "Yeah, I'm a spy." No, seriously, look. This is how you open it.
Because they're all like, "How are we going to get past the checkpoint?" And he's like, "Don't worry, I got this handled." And he just walks up, "Yeah, I'm a Shogun spy."
Yeah. Well, overall, this one is great. Some amazing shots, awesome music. The first film, The Killer's Mission, has a Thomas commentary. That's the only film with a commentary track. I wish we would have got something on the second one, because we're about to talk the second one, which we are hyped to talk about, because this is it. I was surprised.
Yeah, I mean, not that I expected The Fort of Death to be bad, but, the first movie was like, yeah, this is pretty good. I kind of get it. It's of its era. There's only so much they could have done in the 60s. But for The Fort of Death, as the description reads, the second bounty hunter film, when Master Killer Shikoro Ichibei takes up the cause of a group of farmers being driven to despair by the vile Lord Ozeki. The villainous lord has driven them to mounting their last stand at a deserted fort against an army of attackers. Wow, this description's praising him. Temisumburo Wakayama is superb as an expert in killing and military tactics who leaves his medical practice at a clinic for the poor in order to counter the vicious taxes of that vile lord. And yeah, as you can tell from the description, this is kind of like a riff on Seven Samurais.
But it puts a spin on it so well. It's gonna remind you. We just kept mentioning films throughout.
Yeah.
Duel to the Death.
Yep.
We've recently been looking at the Shinobi no Mono series, getting ready for the box set, which felt like the second film of Shinobi no Mono.
Yeah, very much. I mean, I know Japanese directors were all kind of inspired by Kurosawa, but this one, it doesn't feel like a rip-off in that sense, because I would say this one focuses more on action than Seven Samurai, but it does still have the element of showing the common people and their suffering, and that's something that was kind of missing in the first Bounty Hunter film. It was more about Ichibei, whereas this one, he's kind of a vessel for the story to develop around him.
And this one was directed by a different director. This was directed by Ichi Kudo.
Yes, Eiichi Kudo.
Yeah, he's the same one that did 13 Assassins, the
original one.
The great, so I said way back in the day, he has a his filmography is crazy.
And it shows. I mean, a lot of this movie is. I mean, I hate to like crap on the first one. We were just saying it was really good, but it's put together better than that. The shots have better composition. Scenes flow together better. There's a greater sense of urgency within the story.
Yeah.
And there's less comedy, except for Gonorrhea Man.
Oh my god! And I'm just looking at it right now because the same director gave us an awesome V Cinema joint right here. Yeah, baby.
Oh wow.
Betrayal Tomorrow. Yeah, this one, even the look of it has a serious look. Like,
yeah,
it has like this gaudy.
There's a gravity to everything that happens in this movie, and it's not so overbearingly serious that you're gonna be in a dour mood, but it takes itself serious enough to the point where you feel for Ichibei that you're kind of worried that maybe he's not gonna make it out, despite the fact that there's a third movie.
And he's very human because he goes recruiting and he gets an awesome crew around him. Get the ninja chick.
Who's actually played by the same woman from the first movie.
Yeah, when I was watching, isn't that the same woman? Yeah, we're gonna give you a second chance this time. You're gonna be.
She's a different character, but whatever. She's cool.
Yeah. So throughout the film, you know, once the film picks up, they're trying to get into the fort. There's shogunate because they're trying to take the land away from these farmers.
Yeah.
And while that's going on, you see these interesting duels, and they keep hiring other top assassins, and you see this nice, I don't say forest engagement, but they're in the woods, and you see them engage on some duels. Like, I saw this guy that looked like Jubei. I'm like, yo, this is crazy. And you see actual ninja tactics, not in a comedic sense, but not as grounded as
Shinobi no Mono.
Shinobi no Mono, yeah, but you got the same tactics in it. And boy, our boy could fucking move. All them fucking twists on the floor.
My God. Yeah, and there's one point where, I mean, I know it's a trampoline assisted jump, but he just does a freaking somersault. I'm like, the hell?
The action is great, and his connection with the cast, because it's something, all your questions was answered like in the next scene.
Yeah, I started bringing up there's a subplot with a couple that's trying to get married amidst all of this. And I was like, what the hell? You're in the middle of a battle. Why are you thinking about this? And then they go to their lord, and the dude's like, you know we're in the middle of a conflict, right?
So yeah, and you see the people, he's trying to boost the morale, then he asks one of the farmers, like, you know, are you scared? He goes, yeah. Then he goes, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Like, he's relating back to it, and he tells them, but hey, this is what we gotta do, you know? And they see him as this powerful guy that can be touched, which is a skilled bounty hunter. But the fact that he's telling them, I'm afraid as well, but this is what we gotta do, that shit was great. You know, I mean, of course, it's deeper than that, but the second one, we spoke about it for an extra hour after we finished watching it.
Yeah, the only thing I would say is maybe a little negative is that the side characters aren't as fleshed out as in the first movie, but they're also not overshown, you know.
Yeah, they're not overshown because it's about the people. You get a quick synopsis of them when they're shown right away. Hey, there's the ninja from the Iga clan. Oh, that chick has I know this weapon. We know a lot about the Igas now. We Iga experts now. We experts after seeing all the Shinobi no Mono films.
Yeah. And I mean, you could, whatever. I don't think it really matters because the focus of the movie isn't on them, and they don't steal the spotlight from Ichibei or the villagers that are having their plate.
It's a very well balanced film, and we couldn't believe that. Like, wait a minute, this is just the first hour, and it just kept going.
Yeah, and it just like got better in the halfway point.
We're like, holy hell! But yeah, we definitely like the second one a lot. You guys are gonna enjoy it. It's a great journey. Like, it has a good tempo, and you're gonna be invested just like that. You're gonna see nothing. We didn't see any typical cliches. The towns are doing something. Yeah, he's standing up there smiling. No, there's old Ichibei. He's the skilled one, and they're trying their best.
Yeah. It's well balanced, overall, like you said.
Yeah. Now the third one. I'm going to be real with you. There's nothing to talk about.
I mean, I'll read you the description just because. The third movie following the exploits of bounty hunter Shikoro Ichibei, which is titled 8 Men to Kill, despite there not being 8 men that get killed. The theft of almost half a ton of gold from the shogunate's official mine threatens to bankrupt the government of Japan. Despite a desperate search, the gold has not been found, causing officials of the Tokugawa Bakufu to call on their most skillful secret agent, Shikoro Ichibei. And yeah, at first, and maybe the first like 20-ish minutes, I was like, well, this is kind of better than the first movie. You know, they're getting more back to the spy stuff, and there's more with his doctor lifestyle. And then I don't really know what happens after that. They build up a rival assassin as maybe this big duel at the end, and that never really happens. And then the plot keeps going back and forth between him rescuing this killer, but then the killer dies, so now he's got to do the stuff himself, and he's got another female companion, and he kind of uses gadgets maybe, and
you see the utility belt, but
yeah, we see his utility belt for once, but then there's like a very drawn out sex scene, and I'm not one to say like sex scenes can't exist, but it just kind of goes on and on and on.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like the second one had a small joke, you know. With
yeah, it was maybe a little out of place in that movie too, but regardless, it was over and done with. Funny. They got it out of their system. In 3, it was like, baby, look at these jiggling tits.
Yeah, I was like, okay. Like, I mean, I don't mind jiggling boobs. It's just
like, like
it's like they have no idea what to do with this film, because it starts off feeling like the first film, and then it looks like it's gonna turn into he has a rival that here comes a new challenger like Street Fighter. No, the guy disappears.
Yeah, for cool a long time. I said that to Frankie. I think 45-ish minutes in, I was like, what the hell happened to the villain? And then, I mean, he does come back every now and then, and there are a few cool action scenes, but it's just the plot is such a friggin' mess.
Because is it about also the gold, the hidden gold?
It's more about gold. So again, I don't know who the hell the title is referring to. I wonder if the Japanese title is actually completely different.
Overall, we didn't like this film. We kept watching to see how it ends, and then here's what's funny.
By the end, I was like, this movie's still going?
The picture quality, which is not Radiance 4, has a weird shift in color.
Yeah, I think it was supposed to be some kind of mood tone or filter. I really don't know, but
the director didn't give a rat's ass because there was a weird editing towards the end that
it was like red.
Dude, yeah, but no, you're gonna see what I mean. How much of a mess this film is. The third one, I was telling you, dude, that's the guy. No, that's a different guy. No, that's him. And then we realize, who the fuck was that he killed?
Yeah,
it was a long chase scene on a horse. I'm like, this is the great
through
battle?
The woods with these very clear establishing or B-roll shots that add to nothing.
It's just like, oh my god.
I was like, oh yeah, he's chasing the rival, right? And then he kills the dude, and then the rival comes back. I was like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
Yeah, then he's in the front of the house like this with the girl. I'm like, see, like when did switch happen? What the fuck, like. It's just like he went to chase one person, but then they cut it and he's actually chasing somebody else. I'm like,
or he got sidetracked.
But overall, the first film,
very good. First film, yeah,
very freaking good. Has more action than the second one, but the second one, story, acting.
I mean, there's a reason Quentin Tarantino brings it up in conversations. So the second movie's great.
And there's a grimy scene that me and you said like, oh, yep. Yeah, man. So overall, this box set is great. I mean, you guys already know we've been praising Radiance Films before all you guys out there, man.
Or the Radiance
hipsters. Great. I still haven't had a chance to like read the book, but it's Radiance Films. Like,
I'm sure it's well appointed and edited.
But Peter, must own?
Yes, I would say, yeah, even for just the second film. I mean, some people might not want to spend like $60 for one movie, but regardless, it's well worth it for the first and second film.
Yeah, it's a definite banger, and just get it for the box. This thing is beautiful.
No.
Just get it for the box.
The box is amazing.
Just get it for the box. Nah, but it's definitely fantastic. But as always, like, share, and subscribe. And until the next one, Peter.